Well, good morning everybody, welcome back to Shutters and Speed. You join me today on this first day of September 2022, riding through the brecklands of Norfolk. This is not a repeat of an earlier video, although a link to that will appear later on. But let's run the titles and then we'll tell you what we're up to today. Yeah, so welcome back to Shutters and Speed. I'm making my way along the A1065 here, and I'm heading towards Brandon. And my destination for today is Krazy Horse at Bury St Edmunds. Now, I've heard many things about this place, and I've seen quite a few videos on YouTube about it. So I thought I'd take the opportunity today to go and have a look for myself. So that's what we're going to do. So we're making our way, like I say, to Krazy Horse, and we're now approaching the town of Brandon. So we'll have a little chat about Brandon as we go through, and then we'll make our way down through Elvedon towards Bury St Edmunds and obviously onto Krazy Horse. So you're all welcome along for the ride. Yeah, so we're now approaching the town of Brandon. You can see, I don't know if the camera caught that, but we've just timed our arrival in time, I think, because the train has just arrived at Brandon station, and the barriers are now going up, so that was, like I say, well timed. Now, Brandon is a town sort of perched on the sort of edge of the brecklands and near Thetford Forest, which is a well-known forest around here in these parts, one of the biggest man-made forests in the world, I believe. And Brandon itself has close affiliation with the flint knapping industry from years ago. In fact, there is a pub up here which is called the Flint Knappers, and nearby there is a place called Santandanum, and at Santandanum there's an example of a old, I think it's Neolithic, flint mine, so that might be worth a visit if you're out this way. But other than that, Brandon is a very sort of reasonably quiet, it gets quite busy traffic wise, but it's quite a pleasant market town. And the other thing that it has notoriety for, I guess, is its close proximity to the RAF Lakenheath Air Base, which is up to the right here. An awful lot of the servicemen live around here, so it's there's quite a lot of American voices to be heard in the area. Brandon's one of these towns that doesn't have a bypass, so the traffic through here can be quite heavy at times. But I could have chosen a different route, which is very similar to the Breckland ride that we did earlier. A link to that will appear up here somewhere for you to look at, should you be interested. But the route finding software that I used to find Krazy Horse takes me this way. There are actually, from where I live in Downham Market, two routes really to Bury St Edmunds, and I think this is probably the one of the nicest, although you do have to make your way through Brandon here, which can be a bit troublesome sometimes, but it's not too bad today, it has to be said, so we'll take that. Here you can, I don't know if as we go round to the left here, you'll see the Flint Knappers pub, which is sort of homage, if you like, to the town's history. I'm not quite sure how we're going to be able to get on once we get to Krazy Horse, because as before, I've not actually contacted them to see whether it's okay to film or not. I'm hoping it is, so we'll see how we get on when we get there. Yeah, so as we make our way around to the right here, left, sorry. You can see the Flint Knappers pub ahead, and then we're going to just go off to the right and down the B1106 towards Bury St Edmunds. Off to the left here is the High Lodge Park as we come out of Brandon. Not only is it obviously synonymous with flint knapping, it's also right sort of on the edge of the Thetford Forest, and the Thetford Forest has lots of open areas or areas dedicated to leisure, and that is one of them. You can do all sorts of weird and wonderful things here, cycling and zip wiring and all sorts of stuff. So that's quite a nice place to visit if you're in this area. Yeah, so as we make our way along the B1106, we've got another one of these tunnel of trees effects. And the effect is really quite startling. I hope the camera's picking this up, because I think it's probably better than when we went on the ride through the Brecklands previously. And the leaves are still in remarkably good condition despite the dry weather, which is really good. I'm usually out a lot earlier than this, because I know that if you get out early on these roads you find that the traffic is not quite so bad, but when you get out at, what is it now, just before lunchtime on a Thursday, the traffic gets to a point where you really sort of have to just amble along. Although that's not such a bad thing, because obviously, you know, you get to take in the views, which are really quite nice to see, as I hope you're enjoying. Of course, they've been playing around with these rumble strips along here, which is supposedly supposed to help with keeping the deer off the roads. This is a very troublesome area for traffic with wildlife, deer especially, and they've been playing with these little strips on the road, I think to create noise at certain points to evaluate whether that actually helps in keeping the deer off the road. Hopefully we don't come across any of that today, but you know, you don't want to be going too crazy down here, because you never know. I suppose that's one of the advantages maybe of being out, because once the traffic builds up they do tend to stay away from the roadside. Yeah, so here we are in the Fornhams area of just outside Bury St Edmunds. Very nice spot, very nice area to live, I shouldn't wonder. Very pleasant little church there. I hope the camera's picking that up. Fornham All Saints. Well, we've arrived. Looks like. Oh no, we haven't. Oh yes, we have. And here we are. Yeah, so here we are at Krazy Horse. So having arrived at the Krazy Horse Emporium, we had a quick look outside at the sign and the entrance, which is reasonably impressive, quite a decent looking sign there. And then we had a look outside at all the bikes that were on display. This was a mixture of customer bikes, second-hand ones, and also recently delivered new ones, which was quite interesting to look at. So we went inside, had a burger and a coffee. It was great value, I have to say, and really tasty, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. So we spent the rest of the day just having a wander around and looking at the bikes on show inside. So as we come back inside again, you can see that we're having a quick look at this electric motorbike I have on display. The spec is coming up with an eye-watering performance, but also an eye-watering price. Well, as we make our way back out of the pretty village of Farnham on the way out from Krazy Horse, I have to say it was quite an impressive visit. I think it's situated in the right area, because this area of Suffolk is probably a little bit more wealthy maybe than where I live, so to speak. It's probably for the well-heeled, and they do deal in some very premium range motorcycles, it has to be said. You've probably seen the video or footage of the shop, and if I haven't mentioned already, I must admit I did enjoy the burger I had there, and an excellent cup of coffee. So the cafe is to be recommended, and it is well worth a visit if you happen to be out this way. It's not the norm, as it were, in terms of stock of motorcycles. I mean, they stock MV Augustas and Indians, and they're all very, very nice, it has to be said, but probably not in my price bracket. But I did enjoy the experience, and I hope that you did too, and that it's always interesting to go and have a look around these places, I feel. And as I said earlier, I'd sort of heard much about it from word of mouth, and also from people on YouTube, so it's been a very worthwhile experience to come out, and a very enjoyable ride out, it has to be said. So we're now retracing our steps back towards Brandon, and then of course we'll be heading home. So I think that's about it for today. So I hope, like I said earlier, as always, I hope you've enjoyed this ride out, the look round Krazy Horse's showroom, and that you found that useful. I'd just like to point out at this time that I have got quite a few videos planned. As I mentioned in the previous video, I think I've got one or two Meet the Classic Bike and Car episodes coming up, one of which I'm hoping to film next week. And there's also I've bought one of two items, as bikers do this year, and as the biking season draws to a close and we get nearer to Christmas, I'm hoping to do some videos of the stuff that I've bought, and so that you can have a look at that in detail, which I hope will also be of interest. So if you are hopefully interested in all that, then please hit the like and subscribe. You'd be most welcome along, and I hope that we all gain something from it. I know that a lot of my viewers seem to enjoy the rides out, as well as the Meet the Classic series, and also the product reviews goes down quite well too. And like I said, I've got 3 or 4 of those to do in the months leading up to Christmas, so hopefully that'll be of interest. So without further ado, this is Shutters and Speed signing off for now, and we'll see you next time. So bye!